Hello and welcome to Eye on South Asia. I am Nitya Karthik.
And I'm Sunil Hali.
Every week we bring to you news, events and other happenings about South Asians living in North America. Let's get started this week, Sunil. What do you have for us?
On the top story today, Nitya, we have once again a reminder of what happened in 2011.
Right.
The 9/11, which is facing us once again on this weekend, is almost a decade and it looks like yesterday. And it left its own scars, it left its own tragedies, and some of the kids who were even born at that time are probably going to schools right now remembering what they lost. We have come through a big decade now, 10 years have gone by, but what is more important today is to make sure that a particular community to which some of these people who attacked the United States of America are looked at. They have done phenomenal work they have been always doing phenomenal work. It's just that this group of people belong to a certain particular religion, a certain particular community, and initially for some time there was a lot of backlash into it. And we have lots of organizations all over the world doing the good work and trying to assuage the feelings of the people who lost their lives or who got hurt. And one amongst them, many of them, is the Ahmadiyya Muslim community in USA. Actually, it's a pan-North American association.
Right.
And that's one group that has been amongst, like I said, doing a lot of good work. And one of the biggest things they have started recently is called Muslims for Life. And they are actually running a nationwide campaign to do 10,000 units of blood, and which is the whole month of September, this one particular month. And Naseem Mahdi, who is the national vice president and missionary in charge, is in the forefront. He actually was earlier in Canada, where he kind of connected with the mainstream. He was very close to the Prime Minister. He was also Prime Minister at that time, Stephen Harper. And he advised him, he educated him, and explained to him what Muslim community stands up for.
It's really all about.
Right. And in his own words, he says that terrorists caused the death and destruction in September 11, 2001, but they also hijacked actually the faith in Islam, which is so painful. And by painting a violent, militant picture of the religion, terrorist extremists have created suspicion of all Muslims, which is not fair. But the truth is that the terrorists do not represent Islam or Muslims. And he says we are holding one of the initiatives that they have done recently, which is the 10,000 units of blood, where they are not going after one particular community. It's not just the Muslims are donating.
Oh, it's widespread.
Absolutely, Nitya. They are going after any community. There are Hindus, there are Muslims, there are Christians. All kinds of people are putting this initiative together. And we are fortunate that we have with us today Naseem Mahdi on the phone. Let's get him on the phone. Naseem, this is Sunil Hali from Eye on South Asia. And how are you today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm okay. And as you know, this difficult date in the annual calendar of all of us in America, 9/11, is just facing us one more time. And you, as the National Vice President and Missionary in charge of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community of USA, which is called the oldest Muslim community in North America from, I think, 1920. Can you tell us a little bit about the organization?
This is a reform movement inside Islam, and this is an organization which highlights a point very well, and that is peace and harmony, and not war or holy wars or strifes. So we are distinct from other Muslim groups that we don't believe any kind of religious wars or the violent concept of jihad. And this is something which we promote. We promote peace and harmony between different groups of the communities, and we have been doing this for the last 120 years.
That's so wonderful. Naseem, when you think about 9/11, what comes to your mind?
9/11 was something which, sometimes you talk of 3,000 people, those who lost their lives, but and then there could be a lot of people who are affected, and they are the families of the victims. But one thing which is not very clear for everybody, and that is that 1.5 billion Muslims were affected because their religion was hijacked.
That's true.
By terrorists and those who are beasts, who are all out to kill everybody, right?
Right.
So this is something which we are highlighting and going and telling people that Islam promotes peace and harmony, and Islam does not give anybody the license to kill.
True, which is actually every religion teaches the same message. Naseem, tell us about this blood drive. You are raising about 10,000 units of blood.
Yeah.
What does it symbolize to you?
On 9/11/2001, I was in Canada, and when I saw this happening on television, I said that this is something terrible. It's a heinous crime against humanity. So I immediately thought that we should do something about it. And on behalf of Ahmadiyya Muslim community, in Canada, we decided to offer 10,000 volunteers who would donate blood, and I offered this to the Prime Minister of Canada at that time,
Stephen Harper,
and no, that was John Chrétien.
Okay.
And he appreciated this so much, and he said that, look here, there is a community who is celebrating the killing of 3,000 people, and here is a community who is offering blood for the victims, for those who are who are in need. But that blood was not taken because most of the people were perished in that attack. So after 10 years, when I'm here in the United States, I thought that this is the time to do something, and I thought that I have already offered 10,000 volunteers, so why shouldn't we do it now? So that was a commitment from the community. So it really doesn't matter whether it was on the other side of the border or this side of the border. So we started this campaign, and we said that we would have 10,000 volunteers who would donate blood, and we'll be able to save 30,000 lives, because the Red Cross says that 1 unit of blood will save 3 lives.
That's true.
So this is the 10 times of those lives, those who were lost on 9/11/2001.
I think it's a wonderful mission that you guys have taken over, and the larger goal here is to clear, clean, and remove the myth about one particular community who are as good as anybody else all over the world. We appreciate your time, and we wish you all the luck for your drive. Continue to keep on building the bridges between the community. Thank you once again. Naseem, good luck to your mission.
Thank you, Sunil. Thank you for having me. Okay,
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So Nitya,
what a brilliant mission, what a man, right? And it takes a certain kind of a bravery to spread this message, especially when people are so quick to jump to conclusions at this time and age. They have their reasons, but I really appreciate what he is doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think more people do something like this, it will make it a better world for all of us.
Yes.
Moving to the next story, Nitya, this is about the DREAM Act. Which is full form is called the Development Relief Education for Alien Minors. This is about the youngsters who were actually born abroad,
right,
and then they came here because of one reason or the other and grew up here. For them, we have done this story in the past also as a reference to the kid who was lost in LA.
Yes.
And now that the government has taken an action proactively, they're moving forward with it. And as the Security Secretary Janet Napolitano announced recently, that Obama administration has taken this new process to handle the new cases involving students under this act, and it gives a lot of hope.
Absolutely. There are so many students whose fate is literally undecided right now because of this, and we can hope that because of this act which has been introduced again, their cases will be reconsidered, and maybe they will reach some kind of conclusion now.
Correct. Only thing is, in this case, what they're doing is, Nitya, they're not taking every and any person who is illegal and who was not born here and brought up here, though. This is about the people who have deportation orders against them.
Oh.
This is the particular select group who can be considered on case-by-case basis, but hopefully it will expand to everybody else who came under the same category and yet are not facing any deportation orders. And what they call it, making it legal. What they say is they must have entered in the United States before the age of 16.
Right.
That is 15 and younger. They must have been present in the US for at least 5 consecutive years. They could not have left the country. Third is they must have graduated from a US high school or have obtained a GED or have been accepted into an institution of higher education, that is college or university. And they must be under the age of 35 at the time of application. And obviously they must have a good moral character. What the government thinks is that this kind of group, if they are given the due consideration and are not deported, they will essentially be helping the youngsters, who have a very strong emotional bond. Somebody who's come in here and said, there is a case here who has been presented. A 12-year-old kid comes here along with his brother and his family as a visitor, and for whatever reason stays back. And now the kid is 27 years old. For him, this is his home. He has some attachment to the country from where his parents came from. In his case, it's his India. But for all practical purposes, this is his home.
This is his home, and
he doesn't want to leave it.
Yes.
So for him, it's very important that cases like him should be considered, given an opportunity, and build his life. And by some numbers, Nitya, there are about 2.1 million potential beneficiaries of the DREAM Act.
That's a huge number. And
from that, only 300,000 are undocumented. So the other 210,000 are from Asia.
Okay.
So I think this is a huge problem at hand, which I'm sure the administration has to take forward and resolve it and give some happiness to the lives of these kids.
Absolutely. We'll take a short break and be right back. Don't go anywhere.